into Holy Mountain when first pretty great, then took a turn into chaos as you were being blackmailed by a group of your troublemakers that had taken up residence inside the cave. We begin today's session as you leave Holy Mountain, bent and battered, but with your prize in tow.
I don't, maybe stay another night and then head out tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. You look like you need it, to be honest.
I've had better days.
Okay, let's go, Lorana. Hopping.
Tiffy, you think it's alright if we stay one more evening?
Yeah. Don't see why not.
Any issue with bringing the swamp legs down with us?
What, to the village?
Hmm.
Yeah. I think we got one in the village.
I've used that one. There.
Well, that one's ours.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Let's head back. Good and go. Lay down for a bit. Head back to the Goblin Village.
Okay, you make your way back to the village, which it's not a long travel, a couple of hours rounding the large cliff that borders the village. And very soon you arrive at this large swampy lake, at the edge of which the ramshackle docks begin to start to spread. The walkways that form the village.
I'm going to trust Rhett and Soleil to take care of the swamp legs, and I'm just gonna head to the hut that we stayed in previously. Straight there.
Okay.
So that I can go lay down. What time of day is it?
At this point, it would be late-ish afternoon.
I'm just gonna call it an early night and go from a short rest to a long rest if nobody interrupts her.
Okay. Silly.
Yes.
What do you do with Lorana?
I wanna, yeah. I wanna tend to Lorana, I guess, a little bit, and lead her like close to the hut where we're sleeping in, if that's possible. That is.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like not that tired yet, so I kind of take like something like a first watch, even though there might not be a second or third watch, but like I'm gonna stay awake a little bit until the others go are sleeping.
As you wander along the walkway, you notice that both of the swamp legs, as they follow you over the walkway, they seem almost uncomfortable walking along the walkways. Even though their feet do not slip in between gaps of the wood. They seem uncomfortable as they touch the ground with their paws. Well, paws, I say.
I guess I'm gonna try and jump over most of the walkways then and see if there is like.
Do you land
Swamp.
in the swampy area around the walkways, or do you jump on the walkway onto another part of the walkway?
Nope. In the
Okay.
swamp.
Yeah.
Because that's, I hope.
As
where
you
they
splash
feel
into
good.
this shallow part of this swampy lake, they seem more comfortable walking around. And you lead them close to your hut, just kind of behind?
Mm-hmm.
As you come to a stop behind the hut, they eye you curiously.
I feel like I should get you something to eat. Huxley? Is Huxley with
Yeah.
us?
Yeah.
I feel like we should get some food for our two new friends here. You want to go and get it, or do you want to take care of these two and I go and try and get some food?
Did we take a short rest in the meantime, or?
I don't think we have technically yet, unless walking is a short rest.
I don't think you would have had time for a short rest yet.
I might stay here.
Okay, this is Lorana. And I feel like this other one should be called Kara.
Yes, that's two great names.
So just so you know, this Lorana is Kara. I'm gonna go and try and get something to eat for them.
Okay, I'll take care of them.
So as I walk along here, do I see any familiar faces?
As you walk off, you notice that Lorana begins following you.
Wait, no, stay here.
Roll me an animal handling check.
Mm-hmm. That's a 21.
Lorana stops, and as you sort of corral them together again, she stops from trying to leave, instead settling around you.
I'll give her some scratches.
They both seem very responsive to scritches, as all animals.
I'll try to catch some flies to feed to them.
Give me a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
What is a fly? If not a little miserable pile of secrets. Ooh, disadvantage.
Ah, damn it. But that's still a 15.
There are plenty of flies around you. That and bugs and insects, larvae growing, festering, and flying around the large pool of bog you're standing in. Eventually, with enough tries, you do manage to catch one or two. But as you offer them to the large swamp legs, they seem more confused than really interested.
I thought frogs ate wives. I guess Chile is getting your food.
So, what do you look around for, Celine?
First of all, familiar faces. Do I see any of of the group that we traveled here, like Uruk or Big Blab or Tiffy even, if he's around?
Roll me a perception roll.
That's not too shabby. There's a 25.
Tiffy you do not see around. Big Lamp, however, you see at the end of the village where the larger gathering is close to the village chief. Orc you see sort of wandering around on the walkways further down. You also spot, not part of your group, but you see Gimbo still tending to his shop at his usual corner.
That was the dwarf, right?
Now Gimbo is the goblin with the hat.
We traded with him.
You gave him a new hat.
Oh, I thought we traded with the dwarf. What did the dwarf
And
do
explosives.
again?
Dwarf was just over here.
He was just pretending to be a goblin, basically. Okay.
Thinks he's a goblin.
I'm gonna walk over to the dwarblin.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Sir Goblin.
Hello. What do
Sorry,
you want?
Sorry for disturbing whatever you're doing here. How do you usually feed? What are they called again?
Swamp legs.
Where would I find food for the swamp legs?
I don't know.
Welcome.
I do not tend to the swamplet.
Who does
I am
tend
a
to
fighting goblin.
them? Yeah, strong goblin. Who does tend to them, though? Do you know?
The weird thing that thinks it's a goblin over there.
And what?
He points towards the fish man.
Okay. I'm gonna go all around to the fishman and I try to figure out what's going on here as I pass at the gathering.
I mean, as you pass, you just see the larger goblins sort of just eyeing you as you pass.
I just nod, just casually walking past them.
The gathering itself seems to just be hanging around the
Okay.
village chief, really.
Okay,
It's not really anything happening right now.
okay, good. I passed them all. Walk over to the foblin, the fish goblin. Hello, good Sir Goblin.
He blinks at you.
I have heard you are very good at tending for the Swamplex. I wanted to ask because we caught ourselves 2 of those 2, and we were just wondering, what do you feed those? The ones you have here look very well nurtured.
Give me a quick dexterity save.
Okay. 7.
Almost as if falling unconscious, you see the fish suddenly fall sideways, splash into the water. A bit of the water does, unfortunately, spray on you. And then the fish is gone for a couple of seconds before on the other side you see a fishy claw suddenly reach out onto the walkway as the fish pulls himself up with this fish in its mouth. The fish itself doesn't look too good. It looks almost as if it had been dead for maybe a day or so and just been kept under the water. He opens his mouth and the fish flops onto the ground, onto the walkway in front of you.
Oh, okay, fish. Thank you. I guess this one fish isn't enough for 2 of those, right?
Give me another dexterity save with advantage.
Advantage, okay, because I see it coming this time probably. Yeah, that is better. 18.
This time you're not surprised as you see him careening to the left again. He doesn't even really jump into the water. He just lets himself fall. And as he comes back up, he holds another fish, looking very similar to the last one.
How big are these fish?
As you reach to grab the fish, you notice that they are particularly slimy on the outside.
Nice. They like slimy stuff. I get it. Thank you very much. And I pick the fish up and I try to hold them at their tail fins and just try to touch them the least amount possible.
Yeah, you kind of have to dig in with your claws a little bit to hold them, but you hold them basically just at the tips of your claws, at the very end of their fins.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you need any kind of payment, some sorts for this, or like does he like have any kind of mimic, like any kind of facial?
He doesn't hold out his hand or gesture towards anything. He just kind of stands there, hands at his sides, open-mouthed. You haven't seen him close his mouth once.
Okay. Even while jumping into the water. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I give like a very slight bow. Thank you very much, good sir. Have a nice day. And take the fish and go back to the others.
What's up, Salty?
Hey, Salty.
Wow.
We only started at about 3:30.
Yeah.
We got back to the village.
Nice.
Evelyn went to bed right away. And Soleil is looking for food, which it seems like he's found.
Yeah, food for
Understandable.
food for the froggies. Also, we named the other one Kara.
Oh no. This is, I don't know. Okay. I guess I should have been here on time.
Yeah, you should have. That's what you get.
Yeah.
I guess Soleil's returning with 2 slimy fish.
Yeah, as soon as you hold them out towards them, you see their mouths open and their tongues wrap around the fish, sort of just pulling it inside.
Cool. Okay. I'm just gonna hang
So,
around
everyone-
a little bit longer, like taking like a first watch, and then I will go to bed, even if no
Mhm.
one else will take a second or third.
Huxley probably passed out with like next to the frogs.
I mean, if you'd be watching Soleil, as I'm sure you'd occasionally throw a glimpse towards the two swamp legs, you would see Huxley just sort of floating in the swamp at their feet, face up.
He will take out his notebook and draw it.
And you all take a long rest.
Thank goodness.
Very good.
Yes.
You wake up in the morning. The smell of the swamp still all around you. At this point, you're pretty certain that it might never leave your clothes again. The air is warm and the sun is shining through what little you can see through the giant hole around which the village is built.
Evelyn will groggily wake up. Right, we heading out today then, right?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, if we can ride them, all right. Seems like Soleil was good at riding them, but
I suppose that's a good thing to work out before we really head out.
yeah.
Maybe take
I
them
mean,
for a test run.
Kara seemed to take a liking to me, so I think we might get along all right.
Also, Hugs befriended them yesterday, I felt like.
Oh, good.
So the three of you can sort out making sure you can navigate with them.
Yeah.
Guess I'm gonna take Lorana.
I feel like Huxley probably has the best chance of communicating.
Sure.
You want to try giving Kara a ride?
Sure.
I hate this so much.
I don't know what
So
the problem
cursed.
is.
Okay, so
I will hop on Kara.
who gets on which swamp leg?
I'm gonna let them do their thing first to make sure that they can ride these before I ever
Mhm.
get near one of them.
Okay, so Soleil and Hux, I guess, are taking the reins, sort of.
Mhm.
Sure.
Then, unless you are doing anything in particular, both of you please roll me an animal handling check.
May I instead just cast Animal Friendship on it?
You can.
Because that, if it works, lasts for 24 hours.
Is it a save or?
This spell lets you convince a beast that you mean no harm. Choose a beast that you can see. Intelligence 4 or higher. Spell fails. Otherwise, succeed. Wisdom saving throw.
Wait, if it's smarter than a 4 and
Yeah,
fails, right?
then it just does
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah, no, right off the bat, you notice, both of you, as these swamp legs are outside of their lair, sort of, and outside of the presence of the bulls as well as the queen. They seem a lot more tame, almost timid, exhibiting a more passive behavior and reacting much faster to commands. So as you cast Animal Friendship, yeah, you see Lorana almost immediately sort of lowering her back.
She's gonna get the pets she deserves. I'm looking over to Hux.
I got a 13.
And that also succeeds. For you as well, Kara begins sort of lowering its face towards yours. Lowering her back. Okay, listen, I didn't make this weird. You guys made it weird, alright?
Oliver made it weird.
I didn't expect you guys would make innuendos 24/7 after that.
I'm not making innuendos.
Exactly. Not
That's
even.
what they do.
We're literally going to ride her hard all day.
Oh my god. Just get on
It's
your
just
fucking
true.
mounts.
I think I have to get on with Huxley because it's like only one big person,
Yeah.
one small person.
I'm not getting on until I can see that Soleil can navigate and not get thrown off of this frog.
Do you get on, Soleil?
Yeah, I will definitely
Yeah.
get on.
I mean, much like last time. This time, of course, your swamp leg reacts much more intuitively to your controls. Other than in the cave, when you sort of lean forward, the frog does go forward. But much like in the cave, makes no attempt at hucking you off. Does Evelyn get on?
Reluctantly, yes.
Okay.
Come on up, it's fine. She's a sweetheart.
If I
So-
get knocked off this thing, I'm taking it with me.
Considering your route, which way do you go?
So where's the city supposed to be?
Northwest, right?
Just. Mm-hmm.
Just, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That did not sound very confident.
Wait, I have to figure out where north is.
Do you still have that? I do.
There's something over here. Yeah.
I mean, we need to go west, wherever that is.
West?
I think so.
West would be back here.
Wait, no.
Are you holding your map the wrong way around?
I might. No, this is west, right?
That's east.
What's that east?
It's north, east, south, west.
I'm just imagining like Huxley
makes
being
no
bending
sense.
over this map and just
Oh,
being completely
okay, no.
confused.
Yeah, no, my brain was just wrong.
Yeah, no, that's no issue. But
Yeah, we need to go east.
yes, that is east.
So, like here. Yes.
Okay.
We go east after pointing. No, that way's east.
You see Huxley sit on Karen, just sort of go, we need to go east and then go like 180 degrees to the wrong direction.
Oh, I guess I must have gotten hit hard on the head yesterday.
That's fair.
I mean, you took quite a beating, at least as when you transformed, you almost immediately got like pushed out of your form again.
I like
Yeah.
the hexagon pieces, by the way, Becca.
I know, it's such like a good idea, if I may pat myself on the back. It makes it much easier to just move them around.
It was just much more prep work, I guess, but
Kind of, yeah.
but
The biggest thing was
once you
figuring
do
it
it-
out. Now that I know how to do it, it probably won't take very long.
Okay, because it is neat.
Just need to lock them and then resize them so they kind of clip into each other, so there's not gaps in between them. That was mostly the difficult part. But anyways, as you urge the frogs to go forward, immediately you almost panicked have to hold on. Would everyone please give me a dex save?
DNA.
Nine.
Also a 9.
8. And if I fall off, I told Slay I'm taking him with me.
That's probably the main reason why I'm gonna fall.
Huxley?
16.
Yeah, I mean, Huxley, you hold on, and as a result, Red, you also barely manage to hold on, but you end up holding on to Huxley and sort of push the air right out of him. Soleil and Evelyn, you both are not quite so lucky, as Lorana leaps forward as you were somewhat unprepared for the sudden jolt. You just sort of slide off, landing butt first.
May
in the
I?
muck of the
Okay,
swamp.
I don't have a reaction, I guess. Want to do some acrobatic shit?
What kind of acrobatic shot?
Like basically turning around mid-air, catching Evelyn and feather falling into the swamp.
Is feather falling a reaction?
I
It's a bonus
think-
action.
I wear the ring, so I guess I have that all the time, right?
Mm.
It's not a spell.
Oh, does that also apply to as soon as you touch someone?
I don't know. I have feather fall, but I don't know if I have them in my hands. If that, I still have feather fall.
I will give Evelyn another deck save to hold on to you in that case.
Yeah, it just says when you fall while wearing this ring, you descend feather
Oh,
fall.
it is a reaction. Featherball is a reaction.
Yeah, as a spell, but I just wear the ring, so I have just feather fall. Whenever I fall, I just have feather fall.
That is a 17.
So the reaction
managed
would just be
to-
turning around and trying to.
As
catch
suddenly, you know, the sort of solid underneath your buttocks just vanishes forward and you begin to fall. You just hold on to Soleil as Soleil very slowly begins to float down towards the swamp.
Oh, I don't like frogs.
Just have to get used to it. It's gonna be fine. And
Right.
immediately he's trying to get back to Lorana.
Okay.
Next time we're prepared.
gonna like clutch to the back of Soleil.
This time, as you are prepared, there's no issue. Your first day of travel passes extraordinarily fast. As you were promised, the monstrous frogs have no issue finding their footing in the swampy terrain, making these incredible leaps from whatever solid ground they see to the next. Yet, despite their incredible speed, the frogs exhibit little stamina, and every hour or so they stop, huddled together for a few minutes until their breathing slows again. With all that in mind, your speed across the swamp is probably tripled from what it would be ordinarily. So, which way do you head next? You traverse 3 tiles a day currently.
So can I try whenever we take a break to catch some fish?
Would you try to do it during the few minutes
I guess so.
as they catch their breath, or do you
Yeah, I guess
wait
I
until you
wouldn't
take
have
camp and
anything
stuff?
else to do, so
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna try in between whenever I have free time.
Give me a nature check with disadvantage because you're doing it in very little time.
You have like a fishing rod or what?
How about a natural one?
Just with his
Well,
claws.
at first, yeah, at first you look around whether or not you see any obvious fish in the muck. But close to the shores, even at the very edge of the shore, most of the water is just this cloudy green, opaque liquid. So you resort to waiting for any sort of movement to happen, and then you reach out with your whip, just slamming it into the water where the movement happened. But unfortunately, even though you're pretty sure at one point you probably hit a fish, you are, at least today, unlucky with catching any of them.
Soleil, I still have the harpoon to like reel it back in.
Sorry, I just
Here.
saw what Evelyn posted. Just posted.
Huxley, would you mind
um,
placing yourself?
you have
in
a
the
fucking
next-
harpoon?
Yeah. Yeah,
On-
here, it's a silvered harpoon. Take it for next time.
On my map, we are the goblin village is where this bush is, right? This.
Yes, pretty much exactly. Yeah. Sorry, right there.
Would I have thought that it was quicker to do like the lower path or the path like up here?
They both seem about the same.
Okay. Okay, in that case, it's just kind of like east and then slightly south.
Here?
So, yeah. And then here, I guess.
Oh no, the way behind us starts to darken.
Oh, the narrow path.
Okay. As the day grows late and you guys begin to become tired, would you please give me a survival check to look for shelter at disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
I mean, if each and every one of us, or
Only Hux.
okay.
Unless you take charge and look for shelter. But so far it's been Huxley's job, I believe.
7.
7.
Oh my.
It's not a nat one. No. It's 1 plus 6. You know.
1 plus
7.
6. It's a net 1 though.
Uh-huh.
But a plus
No.
6. So it's 7. And 7 is not nothing.
Exactly.
Do you use supplies?
Yeah.
Okay, then this pretty much doesn't change. You don't find a good shelter near the edge of the swamp, even though in front of you looms the cave wall leading further into another chambered section of the caves. Where you are now is still deep within the swamp. You manage to at least find an area that has somewhat elevated ground away from the water of the swamp, and you pitch your camp. Do you do anything in particular before settling in for a long rest?
I'm gonna take the freaking harpoon
Okay.
and try to catch some fish.
From your nature check.
6.
You walk around the shore of this little, almost island that you have. And when you see something move close to the shore, you throw your harpoon. And as you hit something, as you pull back the harpoon, you do, in fact, pull out a small fish. It's very small, but it's a fish. Somewhat emboldened, you continue along the shore, and as you see movement again, you throw your harpoon. But this time as you pull back, you meet a lot of resistance.
Got a big one.
Could you give me a strength save, please?
Twelve.
12?
12.
You manage to just pull out the harpoon out of whatever you hit. As you see this large, almost thorned tentacle retreat into the water near one of the large flowers peering out of the water.
Oh, it's these again.
Stay away from those.
I will. I'm gonna probably present the one fish I found to Lorana.
Yeah, you hold up the
Hmm?
small fish in your hand, and almost immediately her mouth closes around your hand and just sort of pulls back. All that's left on your hand is a lot of slime. But luckily, you can now say that
Hmm?
at least near the front of her mouth, there don't seem to be too many teeth.
I'm gonna use my hand to pet her and at the same time get rid of the slime by like
You sort of spread it on
Yeah.
the moss, then sort of grows on her back.
yeah.
Gonna be there in the morning.
It's fine. It's where Ablin sits usually. I'm just kidding.
Well,
Wing.
I was gonna spend a watch trying to catch some fish for you, but never mind. You can figure it out on your own.
And I'm assuming you guys use your rations and supplies and water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if Evelyn had been working on the silver rod thing. I knew
what?
that was like the silver rod that
Yeah,
I
I
had
have
asked for.
to melt down silver, I think. to
Oh, yeah.
a rod, but I don't think I think we decided that I don't have a furnace or
I thought you were like heat metal over like 3 or 4 days. Or
oh
something.
right.
Yeah, if you were to heat metal, you could do, one piece at a time and attach it to, the sort of clump.
We'll work on it. Wouldn't have I was level 2 of exhaustion the previous night.
Oh,
I'll work on
it's
it
over here now.
for tonight.
Oh, there.
It's on the barrel. It's bigger, so it'll be easier to throw things in.
Nice.
I'm still working on trying to melt it all down.
Yeah, no problem. Actually, if we get into that city, there might be somewhere easier to do it. It sounds like there's a lot of like necro forges and
There could
stuff.
be some sort of a forge that would definitely make it easier.
Hopefully, we get there tomorrow. We'll see.
I will spend 1 second level heat metal
Mm-hmm.
to work on my.
You begin attaching silver pieces, I believe you had,
Yeah.
together to begin forming a rod. You go to sleep a little bit uneasy in the midst of bramble and swamp. Even with mounts familiar to the terrain, now again alone, looking around a landscape that is as alien to you as the bottom of the ocean, you're almost starting to miss the goblins. And you awaken from your long rest. Is there anything you do before beginning your day's journey?
Could I have actually, if I took like the last watch, spent a little bit of time trying to catch some fish for them? Just with my grappling hook?
So you'd
Looking for
spend
movements.
about 2 hours watching, trying to
Just kind
catch.
of watching and keeping track. If I don't know if I
Okay.
can do that during a long rest. Just looking for any movement of fish. Well,
Roll me a survival check.
not near the vines that I've already seen.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a 14.
Roll me a 1d4 minus 1.
No, I hit the wrong button.
Hmm.
So there. 3.
Through your 2 hours of light activity, you do manage to catch 3 small fish.
I will just leave them off to the side for them to feed their frogs. I'm not feeding.
I mean, where do you leave them?
I guess I'll just. If the frogs like notice that I have fish, I'll just chuck them in their direction. I don't want to get near the frogs
Yeah,
and have
mean-
them fly me.
as you pull out fish, as there's the splash, you definitely see them sort of staring into your direction, although they seem to also be staring into every direction at all times. So, but as you sort of chuck them into that direction, you see them slowly, wander towards the fish and just eat them up off the ground.
During my watch, I want to draw a very cartoony drawing of Ablin falling off
Wow.
the swamp lake.
This guy.
During your day's journey flitting through the swamp, you notice the terrain slowly change. The large stretches of bubbling swamp seem to grow a little bit smaller as the islands and forests of bramble and vines begin to grow larger. During their pace undeterred, your mounts continue to flit across the terrain. Huxley, please. Give me your directions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you continue along the
Yes. Yes, the
tunnel.
narrow path. And then south. Yes.
During your day's journey, aside from the changing terrain, you notice nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing really happens during the day. And soon you find yourself tired once again, settling in for camp. Could you give me that survival check again?
Disadvantage?
Yes.
Uh, 12.
I'm guessing you are using your supplies?
Sure.
This looks encouraging.
As the bramble and vine forest grow larger, the only shelter you find is within one of the larger tufts of bramble. You see the sort of almost cave that opens up into it. And in there, you begin setting up camp. While the bramble doesn't seem to hold back any of the toxic gas, the air, and the wind, at the very least, it should keep larger predators away from you.
I want to do something before we go to bed. I want to, as soon as Ablin got off the back of Lorana, I want to try to learn how far and how high Lorana actually can jump. I'm just gonna go for some huge leaps around here.
Okay.
Just to see the extent of what she's able to do. So in case we need it, I can make good decisions, hopefully.
Give me a perception check.
My rolls are not good today. It's 9.
Nine?
9.
With how fast the jump is, it's not that easy for you to gauge its distance fully. You'd estimate that her leap forward, at least, is about 70 feet-ish. And upwards, although she seems almost hesitant to do so without somewhere to jump onto, you'd estimate around 30-ish feet.
Sounds good. That'll do. Good girl. Leading her back.
Who is taking a rest? A watch. Who's taking a rest? Who's not sleeping tonight?
All of us?
I'll take first watch and try and catch a couple of fish off the side again.
I'll take the middle watch then.
I can take third.
Yeah, I can take last.
Would you please roll me your watches? Your perception rolls for your watches.
19.
13.
18.
24.
Who had a third watch?
That was me with a 13.
Okay. Near the end of your watch, Rand, you hear the slight psh. In between the surrounding net of bramble. You hear something move, something small.
Alright, I mean, do y'all look closer that way? Do I notice... Are the frogs, like, do they sleep or are they awake all night?
The frogs are currently asleep, yes.
If I can't see anything looking closer, I guess I'll, like, take a torch. It's something lit from the fire and kind of, like, walk over a little closer to look. Try to get some more light in that direction.
Roll me another perception roll, please.
Oh my. Oh. Oh my. A natural 1. I usually hold the torch in front of my face.
Must have been my imagination. Goes back to
As you hold up the torch, it's almost doing more harm than good. As when you hold up the torch, as it flickers, the thorns and the many vines that overlap seem to throw shadows into every direction. And it becomes hard to determine what might be movement and what is just the shadows. After a couple of minutes, it is time to switch shift.
Right, I will get Huxley up and report that it sounds like there might have been some small creature moving around out there, but I couldn't see it. I tried to look.
Oh, okay.
It was
Okay.
kind of like over in that direction. Last I heard it, but I don't know.
I'll keep an eye on it.
And your roll was what again?
24.
24. As you peer into that direction, as Red slowly settles into sleep, you watch the ramble for a good while. Until you do, in fact, see movement. And you see tiny eyes staring back at you. Something moves, then comes to rest, and as it comes to rest, it almost blends completely in with the thorn. As you see a tiny creature. I can't make it any smaller, but it is tiny. Clinging to the thorny vines.
I just stare back at it.
Okay. You wait a couple of minutes just sort of staring at it. And you notice another one.
Did we light a fire? Or is it still going?
There is a fire currently going in the middle of the camp, yes.
Is there a stick on the ground? Or can I take one of, I guess, the branches from the fire
You can.
and just kind of like hold it in their direction? Like, like shoo, shoo.
Roll me an intimidation check.
Can it be a wisdom-based interpretation check?
A what?
No, my interpretation.
Wisdom based.
Because I'm so wise that I put together that plant creatures might be afraid of fire.
The fire is why you're making the intimidation check.
Oh, 17.
As you reach towards them with the fire, you see them begin to retreat slightly, keeping to the very edge of the line. But as they do retreat, as you step a little bit further, you also see a couple more of them, lurking a little bit further, deeper in the shadows. Now, a little bit closer to the edge of the light. As you bring some of them further back.
I will go and wake up Rhett while like still looking at them.
You're still holding the fire kind of in one hand.
Yeah, like looking at them with the fire and then like kind of shaking like
I
Rhett.
don't know where Red's poking.
He disappeared.
I'm right here,
He's right there.
underneath Slay's hand. Wait, I mean,
Oh.
He was invisible.
plant creatures, you say?
Yeah, there's like all these tiny little like thorny squirrels.
All right.
And they're like staring at us. And we're surrounded by thorns.
Yeah. All right. Hello, guardians of the thorns, I suppose. Can you perchance understand me?
At first you hear nothing except the crackling of the fire. And then you hear as they start clicking at each other.
Some like clicking language, perhaps. Oh, you speak it too?
No.
Do you actually make clicking noises?
Yes.
Roll me a 1d20.
In the meantime, they're probably too smart, but I'm gonna try and cast Speak with Animals.
Are you awake?
Oh, I'm not awake. I'm not doing nothing. I'm sleeping.
Keep in mind, if you wake now, you are missing about 2 hours of your long rest.
I'm sleeping. It's fine. No one woke me. Can't be
What did
that
you roll?
important.
11.
Yep.
As Huxley begins to click, there's suddenly a silence from the clicking. And then slowly, they start clicking at each other again.
I wonder what they want. Did you notice anything like about their behavior, or?
They were just kind of staring at us.
All right.
But plants in the swamp, they just can't be trusted.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I don't know. Like, are they scared of fire, or
Did
should we like?
they did kind of back off from the fire a little,
Think we should make our fire bigger, maybe,
maybe.
or should we like put it out to not make them angry?
No. We should.
We should make it bigger.
Yeah, we should make it bigger.
All right. Well, you're the nature expert, I guess.
I'm very good in nature.
Good. All right. I believe you. Like, is it worth using more supplies, you think? Or just gathering some?
We could break off some of the branches.
Mother.
But that might just maybe piss them off.
I mean, we have plenty of supplies right now. Just use those then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You
guess we'll
use
use another
one
supply, yeah.
extra supply to stoke the fire. As the flames leap a little bit higher, as they begin to flicker a little bit brighter, you see them retreat a little bit more. They seem to stay there for the rest of your watch, just at the very edge of the light, still watching. But as you watch them for the rest of your watch, nothing else seems to happen. And I'm guessing Red goes right back to sleep.
Yeah.
Could
Oh.
you please give me a con save?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Oh, pretty good. 20.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone manages to take their full long rest. In the morning, as the light grows a little bit brighter, you don't spot the weird little creatures around, but you still kind of feel like you're being watched.
In the morning, can I take just a couple of minutes longer to like cover up the fire? Like a little
To,
better
like,
than
put it out?
usual? Yeah, put it out, kind of cover up the ashes.
Yeah, I mean the ground you are on is very moist mud most of the time. So by just simply tearing off the first layer of moss, you very quickly find very, soaked earth that you can spread across the fire, very quickly putting it out.
Okay. Just like taking extra care to clean up better than usual.
Mhm.
In case this is like some type of home to them or something.
Not the worst sleep I've ever had.
Yeah, we had like some creepy little branch things, branch bugs. I don't know. That were watching us, but we just made the fire a little bigger.
Well, we're
Use some extra
in this
wood.
swamp, so there's lots of bugs, I would assume.
They were bigger than bugs, but I mean, they looked kind of humanoidish, maybe like fairy.
Huh.
Oh, I hear one. Ah!
I suppose we'll keep an eye out for them in the future.
6 psychic damage.
Ah!
Okay. And once it's day, you continue on your way south. As the solid ground continues to grow and the swamp diminishes further, the air grows ever warmer. The clumps and thickets of bramble that seemed contained to their islands and bushels of forest now seem almost completely untamed, unleashed into the cave. The individual forests begin to connect through large bridges of ranking vines, spanning like bridges or hanging along walls and the ceiling. After about 2/3 of your journey that day, something else catches your attention as you make your way through another particularly thin tunnel of the cave. The sound you hear is as sudden as it is strange. It's like the shattering of glass, a lot of glass. At least that's what it sounds like. A few seconds later, the noise echoes again. Everyone, please roll me a perception roll.
Thirty, 20.
10.
15.
The direction of the noise seems pretty clear. Despite the cave's echoes, it appears to originate from the cave wall not too far from you. A large stretch of grey rock, yet unclaimed by the bramble. There, from a dark opening in the cold rock, a light shimmers.
I think there's someone over there. At least there's a light source.
Well, yeah, that didn't sound like a natural sound.
Possibly mining something? Look, sir, are we near the city?
Not that near.
You'd estimate it would probably take at least a full day's journey at the pace you're currently going.
Anyone that you know of that lives around in this area?
Have I come across anyone here?
Not really. Occasionally you'd see adventurers or miners or scavengers close to the city, but in these tunnels, usually no one really stays here, so most likely it's someone passing through, perhaps.
We could leave it be or check in on them.
Sorry, did you say it's a day to the city or a day to the sound?
Just city.
The city.
Oh no, they're probably right over on that rock wall.
I guess we should look in case it's something that'll come after us at night.
Maybe cautiously. head over. Oh, could I have used the previous evening, another spell slot for heat metal?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep track of that in my head. I keep forgetting. I guess we'll make our way over quietly and see if we can see what.
How quietly do you try to be?
Sneaky
I mean-
quiet.
We're on the frogs, so as quiet as frogs are.
Or do we want to leave the frogs?
That's a good question. You can ask yourself as you come to the entrance to the cave.
You can even hear. I don't really know whether they are or staying and not running off.
You know, I just haven't been as quiet as I thought I was recently. I can just stay with the frogs. How about that?
That works. Yeah.
I thought I was pretty quiet, but man, I have had a.
Just try and then without the frogs, stealth forward.
Mhm.
Are they?
Everyone
is it,
who goes towards the cave, please roll me a stealth check.
Not 20.
15.
So 26.
25.
Okay. You make your way towards the cave quietly. As you come closer, there's this sort of strange ringing that seems to ebb off and vanishes. And as you come around the corner to the cave, a cave of wonder opens to your eyes. After these long stretches of green plants, green animals, green fog, you find yourself almost overwhelmed with colors. All around you, all along the cave wall, ceiling and floors, crystals shimmer in iridescent multicolored light. Shards of crystal lie scattered across the ground. But near the other end of the cave, you spot the form of a dwarf. The dwarf seems to sit hunched near a large crystal, thoroughly engrossed in his work. Extremely carefully, you see him carving away very carefully at the crystal in front of him, placing tiny shards of it in a small pile to his side. Can you guys please roll me a perception roll?
11.
18.
15.
With all the lights around you, you can't quite see what the dwarf is doing, other than what you have seen, him sort of working away at this crystal. Unfortunately, you pick up on no other details.
Other than potential monetary value, is there, glinting at the crystals that are in this cave, is there anything that can be made out from any of my research or studying of what could possibly a crystal or crystals like these be used for?
Well, not knowing these crystals, you really have no idea. Their chemical makeup could very well be incredibly valuable. Or they may simply be colorful trinkets you could sell. You really wouldn't be able to tell without studying them further.
Wait, should we just leave him to it, or?
We don't really need crystals for anything.
No, and if he's got research going on, or this is his mine or something, he might just get pissed off if he thinks we've come across his find.
Don't want to get between the crystals and the dwarf.
How quietly do you talk?
We're whispering. But I'm not gonna actually whisper into my mic, because then it won't go through.
Can you roll me a perception check?
Everyone?
Yeah.
That's
17.
19.
16.
As you whisper, even though you are extremely quiet near the edge of the cave, one of the crystals close to you, as you whisper, almost seems to echo back your whispering. Almost resonating. It starts slightly ringing. Some of the crystals around it also ring this shrill tone for a moment. And then it begins to ebb away.
Back away.
You walk to the
Oh,
other
it does
side.
not back away.
I will walk to the other side.
Can you give me another self check, please?
Because in case he goes after you guys because he heard something, I will be behind him. Natural 1. Which is a 10. But also a natural 1.
Just as the two of you walk away, as you step forward to cross to the other side, Soleil, you kick something hard. The small rock clinks onto the ground, and into the cave, rolling along the crystal. And you hear this ringing. The noise you made begins echoing in the crystals, and you see the dwarf's head twist around at the noise too, and you see his face, which mimes shock, terror. His eyes go wide as plates as he gestures wildly. Although he attempts to whisper as he sort of yells, he may just as well not have been whispering at all, and you just hear, "No, don't!" And the noise you made begins echoing through the cave, resounding on every crystal like tuning forks. The echo of his voice adds to it, and gradually, even on its own, the resonance grows louder and louder, building to a deafening crescendo. At its peak, a shrill burst rings out, as the inside of the cave is showered with a rain of projectiles. Since you're not in there, you don't need to make a dex save.
Did we just kill him?
But you hear the now familiar sound of shattering crystals echoing around you. And despite the crashing noise, the resonance of the crystal seems to be receding. You do hear a groan from the dwarf lying sideways, still at the crystal. Looks like he avoided most of the impacts of the crystal stalactites raining down around him. But along the length of his arm, you see blood. His left arm is now pinned underneath a large chunk of crystal at the elbow, making it nigh impossible for the dwarf to get upright. And then you hear him shout again. Wait! His voice pierces the ebbing waves of resonance, and you wince expecting the crescendo to return, but it does not. I don't know who you are. We have only 10 seconds to talk, for the sound will make him ring again. So, listen to me closely. I'm pinned, my leg from earlier, my arm from just now. I won't be able to get free like this. You're going to have to get me.
Okay. Soleil feels like he caused this. He's gonna try and get there sneakily. No sound making.
If this is the range, can I cast message to Evelyn?
Yeah, probably.
I'll be like, what was that?
There's a dwarf trapped in there, but any loud noises apparently make the crystals explode. So Soleil made some crystals explode.
Jeez. Let me know if you need silence.
Probably would help. I think Soleil's gonna try and run in there.
Oh, okay, wow. Get Huxley to come over.
Okay, for the sake of doing things, why don't you all roll initiative for me? Okay, despite not rolling too great. Oh, no, Evelyn goes first. I was gonna say, pretty much as usual.
I will just quietly move. So I can keep an eye on the situation. I'm not trying to go in there.
Please roll me a stealth check.
It would be a natural 20.
Okay. You're extremely careful now that you know what sound does to this cave, and you sneak almost soundlessly closer to the entrance of the cave.
I'll gesture at Soleil if he glances at me to wait. But I'm not gonna say anything.
It is your turn, Soleil.
I'm gonna hold my action to walk in there with feline agility.
Okay.
The trigger will be a red. Oh. Just waiting for whatever Abelin is trying to tell me.
Yeah, I'm just like gesturing wait and pointing to Rhett.
Okay. So you wait, holding your action to head in as soon as you feel like you've been told what to do.
Exactly.
Then Huxley.
Was I told to go somewhere? Because I feel like Red wanted me to come.
I mean,
Or maybe.
If I was actually walking, it depends where. If you're okay with me being here, Beggar, Rat is like pointing back at the frogs.
In like, stay with the frogs.
In like
Not frog duty. Sorry.
frog duty. Sorry.
I'll go to the frogs.
I mean,
Maybe you'll start skipping rocks into the cave because I'm so bored with the frogs.
yeah. Or not, you know, you make your own choices.
Okay, well, then it is your turn, unless Huxley, you do anything else.
I will give scratches to Kara.
Okay.
That's my turn.
So, I guess Rhett like takes off his hat and then whispers into his hat the silence spell. And I think I can like see pretty close to the door.
Yeah, I mean, there's a grid on the field.
So I want to target it. So like, it's a 20-foot radius. So I think I can. I don't know how to draw those things. I got a thing over here.
We have spheres here.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
20. So about like this.
Well, yeah, enough that I'm pretty sure they can work on a crystal. Yeah.
Okay.
I give a thumbs up reaction to Soleil.
And Soleil, would you please roll me stealth with disadvantage?
I was about to say not too bad. 12.
Okay. Can you give me a dex save?
Dirty 20.
Okay. As you begin heading towards the dwarf, halfway through walking across this crystalline floor, you start slipping. It becomes incredibly slippery, almost like you're walking on ice, except it isn't nearly as cool. And you start sliding a little bit, but you manage to catch yourself. Unfortunately, there's a slight tink of your claws on the ground, and you feel the ringing just very softly, the edge of your ears. And then you make it into the cone of silence. And I believe in the cone of silence, there's absolutely no sound.
Correct.
Okay. I don't know how much movement you have left.
30, 10, 20, 30.
You see the dwarf's arm pinned underneath a large chunk of crystal that isn't that huge. His leg is another story. You realize that the crystal he was working on earlier was probably already after an accident, as his leg is pinned underneath a large chunk of crystal that you see is not connected anywhere to the wall or ground. And you see that at the very edge of it, close to where his leg is, he's begun chipping away at it, making the small mound of crystal shards. As you're close, he opens his mouth, but noticing that nothing comes out, he just sort of with his one free hand still holding the chisel, he points at his arm and his leg. Do you do anything else that time?
That was my reaction, right? For my held
that was
action.
you
I don't think I
holding
can
the
do
turn.
anything.
It would be Evelyn's turn then. Is there anything you do? As you see Soleil during the middle of his traversal almost slip, and you hear this sort of ringing. You still hear this ringing sort of echoing around until it reaches a slight peak and then ebbs off again.
Okay. I think there's anything I can do. Yeah, I will just back a smidge. A little behind red.
Mm-hmm. Then Soleil, what do you do?
How do command words work in silence?
I don't think they do.
It's like a spellcaster trying to cast
Yeah,
a
I thought,
verbal.
I almost
spell.
thought so.
Casting anything that requires a verbal component is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna give him a sign to wait. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go back to the others. I'm gonna dash.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
$19.
Okay. This time you are expecting the slippery part of the crystal, and you simply slide with the soft of your paws towards the entrance of the cave without making a noise.
Yeah. Hey, Blen.
Yes.
I think we're gonna need your dimension warrior to get him out of there.
I'll hold out my stopwatch. This button.
Thank you. I'm gonna take it. But that's my turn.
Mm-hmm. We can skip back to your turn unless anyone else wants to do anything.
If he's standing there, having grabbed the stopwatch, I will go ahead and cast spider climb.
Okay.
To seeing how he had seemed to have a hard time walking over the slippery.
Well, to envy the
That's it,
acoustics
yeah.
of the cave.
You are good to go.
Okay, and he's gonna hurry back. Dashing back.
Give me a stealth check at advantage because of the spider climb.
$18.
Okay. You make it back into the silence without a noise, sort of almost stabilizing yourself with the better grip you have on your feet as you walk.
I'm gonna grab his arm and I guess I have to see where I... Oh no, I don't have to see
No, you
the
don't.
dimension door, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Just hey, where are you going?
I want to go, yeah. Basically out of the cave, not even close to the entrance.
Like 500-foot range. So
Yeah.
easy.
Both of you dimension door out of the cave. As you leave, you see where, the dwarf left the dwarf-sized hole. The two crystals that pinned him just sort of slam onto the ground without making a sound. They themselves sort of breaking into smaller pieces. But you are out.
I want to immediately treat his wounds. Because now there's probably a gaping hole or something in there.
His arm looks damaged and you see blood, but it doesn't appear to be broken. His leg, however, looks a little bit worse. The much larger rock that pinned his leg must have fallen at quite a distance. It's most likely broken.
Make our way over to them wherever they teleported to.
Are we? Well,
We're out of there.
all right. All right, I see it over there. Oh. Well, you came at a good time, even though, well, the thing with the arm, if I hadn't already been trapped, I probably would have been mad at you, but, well, thank you.
I'll walk up and hold my hand out for my stopwatch.
I'm gonna give it to her. Thank
Uh,
you. Came in quite handy.
Harvesting some of these crystals when dropped the chisel out my pocket and triggered the whole thing.
What were you doing in there in the first place?
I was harvesting the red arcanite right there in the middle, but then grabbed one of the pink and seemed interesting, so I tried to go further in, see what the blue one does, but didn't go so well.
Getting yourself trapped is probably a good explanation or a good definition of not going so well.
Yeah, would have been a while chipping away at that crystal. Probably might have died in there. So suppose should thank you with a little bit more of a reward. I can give you the pink crystal and some of the arcanite I got.
I mean, that'd be lovely. I don't know what they do. Where do you hail from? I don't remember any dwarf settlements anywhere near here.
Oh, it's not in the underground. It's away further through the heat zone. It's let's see. You take a left from here, another left along the wall. Then you continue on straight. Then it's a left. It's near the lakes. It's on the other side of Baratier.
Nothing to me. Listen, I'm sure that would be interesting to our guide. Hang on. Actually, yeah, we can.
Has anyone ever heard anything about any of these places?
Yeah, I think we can just bring the frogs over now, Huxley.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, why don't you come over here?
With his broken leg.
From the dwarves, a
I'm
very
talking to Huxley to come over here.
vague, rough explanation. You do know roughly what he's talking about, and Baratier itself is the largest indicator. It is about here-ish on your map that he's talking about.
Which map?
on Huxley's
okay,
map.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna bandage his leg and stuff. Best as I can.
With his
because I'm not good at
one
it.
good arm in hand, you see him sort of rummaging through his backpack.
I can't really return with empty hands, but I can probably give you anything I would have brought extra and sold. So I can offer you the geode I found in the two of the Red Arcanine.
You see him pull out these two almost half bottles. It's this almost rounded bottle whose lower half has been heated to a melting point and then just sort of encrusted with these large clusters of the red crystal.
It's appreciated, and I'll reach down and cast Cure Wounds on his leg.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Arcanide is easy to use. You just throw the thing. Don't know what the shield might be for, but crystal seems to keep growing when you hit it against things.
It sounds kind of dangerous.
It probably is.
Well,
Really?
very good.
My type of thing to swing around, but I'm sure we can make sense of it.
Is Freya here still?
Yeah.
Is this a Barradoon like close to where we're headed up north, or is that what it said, Barradoon?
Barrow-Tier is...
here.
Huxley would know the Sunken City.
Mm-hmm. The Sunken City is the big one, right? Yeah. And where's the thing you said?
He said north of it somewhere.
So like
Yeah, which would be
Right.
say,
and we're going past
It's
that anyways.
somewhere where you headed.
Yeah, so we're heading in that direction. Well, right now we're heading in the opposite direction, but when we go back we'll head in that direction.
Yeah. We were actually looking for some dwarves up north, probably a little further, but looking for some mithril ore, I guess.
There you are. Well, there's plenty of mithril mines around here.
Do you know who we talk to about that once we get up there? By any chance?
I don't really know who you're looking for. North of Barrow-Tier, there's one small town, is where I'm from. And, well, much, much further north, there's a mountain.
I think that's where we're headed, the mountain.
That's a long way to head for mithril. You only headed there for mithril?
30 tons of mithril.
Well, yeah, a lot.
Well, don't know what kind of deal you've set up, but there'll be mithril there, aye.
And can you recommend a leader that we talk to, or? Well, we just don't know much about the various mining guilds or whatnot there might be.
Well, it's pretty much these areas kind of a free-for-all.
Okay.
It's only really venturing out so far to grab some of these crystals and head back. It's a bit of a dangerous journey, as you can see. Things happen.
Yeah, we found that on our travels. I don't think that I caught your name, by the way.
Don't think I caught yours, actually, either.
Apologies, Red.
Well, apologies from me. I should certainly want to know the name of my saviors, particularly the.
He sort of looks towards Soleil.
You can call me Soleil. My group is named Evenfall.
Right. Name's worth. Thank you, Evenfall.
Can you say his name is Vertra or Verta? Ah, thank you.
Well, suppose I'll be resting for a couple of days before I headed off. It won't be getting back in the cave, but thank you.
Yeah, of course.
If
We do
there's
have...
anything else I can share with you or tell you, feel free to ask. I do owe you my life.
I don't think we're just headed toward the old ruined city down here. And if you know anything about that, I guess that'd be helpful.
Ah, the old Rao city, eh?
Yeah.
Generally avoid that place. Got a lot of bad things around there. Never been too fond of the Drow either, so...
Yeah, sure.
They abandoned the place, but you never know what they left behind.
Do you hear any rumors about it? Like, oh, there's something big in this area or anything like that?
Only rumor I heard was there is a vault in there. They made a lot of these siege engines there. They used ones to attack Barrett here before the whole, really. Other than that, I suppose nothing really. They abandoned the city at some point. Nobody really knows what happened after. The dwarf certainly didn't come looking. Not after Barrett here.
How long ago was that?
100 years, maybe more. Hundreds, yeah. Long time ago. I was a wee lad.
I guess that's a good thing at least. We can kind of look at everybody else. Like,
Best of luck for you.
Aye, for you too. If you're going into the city, keep your wits about. The Drow are sneaky with their traps and poisons.
poisons, right?
Good to know.
Aye, and what do you call them? Bone thingies. Necrotech.
Like
Yes.
bone construct type things?
Aye, big bone thingies.
Okay.
And it's appreciated. The warning. I suppose we'll be on our way though.
Aye. Thank you again. And all the luck on your journey.
Yours as well.
It's already begun to turn.
Turn and reluctantly get back on the frog.
Okay. As you leave the cave, returning with your frogs to the drab veil of green, you slowly, after an hour or so, begin to feel tired. At most, you would have another hour of travel, and the early rest might benefit you and your mounts. You have no desire, however, to rest near the crystalline cave and begin to look for a suitable shelter. Huxley,
Let's go.
if you would, please.
Disadvantage again?
Yes.
You don't have to sound so pleased about that, beggar.
Oh.
That's a 14.
Okay. I'm guessing you use your supplies.
Yes. Would this work well for Huxley?
It seems like it.
You find a good shelter near the edge of the long cave wall you are running along towards through the tunnel. It's somewhat sheltered from the wind that is pushing through the tunnel, and the bramble, this time at a little bit of a further distance from your camp, seems to at least cover much of the view of your camp. And could you guys please roll me your watches?
I can take first watch and probably technically identify these, so that can be easily passed off. Imagine I'll give the stalagmite geode off to Huxley and just tell Rhett what the arcanite clusters do and before offering for the bag of holding.
Okay.
Guess I'm gonna take second watch again.
Who takes third?
That's me.
Everyone, please roll your perception check.
It's a
12.
16.
15.
$21.
Throughout the night, you occasionally hear at the edge of your perception the shrill ringing and subsequent crash of crystal far in the distance. And your mind wanders, wondering what noise may have triggered the resonance. But outside of the occasional noise, nothing else happens during the night. The next day, you wake early. At least it feels like you do. Rhett, as you pack your things, as you go over your supplies for the day, you notice that one ration is missing from the crate that would make for the day's supply.
Oh no. Something's got in my backpack again.
Looking around, any signs of anything?
Give me a perception roll. Or an investigation roll.
Yes.
Perception is 18, investigation is 20.
It's beyond 20. Kind of math.
Most of your rations are packed very tightly into these small crates. As you look at the edges of the crate out of which the ration has been stolen, you notice marks just underneath the lid. As if the crate had been pried open with a hard tool, like a crowbar or a knife.
Right. It's a bit odd. Like someone went out with like a tool, and I'm not sure how that didn't wake someone up.
Yeah. Because they had to get into my tent, get the backpack open, and then pull it out and pry it off.
Right. Maybe some additional protections. Or...
Well, as soon as I get that silver bar, we'll be good.
Yep, I worked on it again last night, so
Okay.
3 attempts so far. 3 heat metals. I don't know how many I need, but none heat metal 3 times.
How much is the silver bar worth?
10.
10 silver?
10 silver.
Then it's 10 times you need to do heat metal. As you sort of, adding a silver to it each time.
Yep, that's fine.
Listen, okay. For future nights, I'm gonna set my backpack like right here by the fire, and whoever's on watch can sit on it.
That would work, I suppose.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. First goblins and now whatever crowbar creature got in.
Sorry, I was hungry tonight.
I don't believe you.
One of us just scavenging extra ration.
That would be so funny.
The day passes you by fast on the back of your mounts. Although you have to tense up each time they leap, as they are doing most of the work, you feel almost relaxed during your travels. The landscape once again shifts dramatically throughout the day. The large and growing forest of thorns and vines grows so tall it begins to form its own caves, walls, and ceilings. The many vines and bramble that previously were nowhere near the size of the massive ranking stalks also seem to grow in size, some to the width of trees. As the end of the day approaches, you find yourself in a cave of which you can neither see the walls nor ceiling. Only the ground lets you know that you are not yet completely surrounded by thorns. And you are just at the edge of the city. Soon. One more day. As you settle in for another long rest, please roll me another survival check.
I'll use heat metal again.
Mm, 20.
20,
Nice.
huh?
30, 20.
I'll do first
I
watch
can
again.
throw away
Oh, survival, sorry.
and put this new. Nope, that's not the one. That's it. My order. It's completely whack. As you make your way through this forest of vines, you have very little issue finding a suitable shelter. You pick out a particularly big thicket of just intertwining roots and ranking vines that form a little shelter in which you fit your tents.
We'll take first watch and
Would everyone please roll their perceptions for their watch?
19. I guess we're keeping an eye on Vagabond.
18. Yep, I just put it in the middle.
16.
So wherever somewhat.
16.
It was 18 for me.
You keep watch on the bag of holding throughout the entire night. Not paying too much attention to your surroundings, but there's also not that much to see as you are surrounded by these walls of giant vines. And throughout the night, the bag seemingly is undisturbed. And as you wake in the morning and go through, no ration appears to be missing.
That seemed to work.
Everything down here is just so hungry. Just gotta keep an eye on it.
At least they're not trying to eat us yet.
True.
I have to go run Banjo outside.
I was about to call for a break after this next part. Anyway,
Okay,
so let's just take it right now.
Okay.
We'll take a 10-minute break and then go into the city. Making our way downtown. I'll be right back.
Okay, bye. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. You just completed your long rest and you set out on the 5th day. And on the 5th day, you finally reach it. Its roofs and spires reach out of the fog like the ribcage of an ancient beast decayed by time. Underneath the towers stretches a sea of buildings and streets, half hidden in the fog by the distance. The city lies in front of you, quiet and still. No lights shine along the streets, no movement indicates the flow of traffic. And most telling, it is, for the moment at least, deathly silent. As before you lies the abandoned Drow city. You approach the city from its northern side. Here, the houses are still sparsely placed, giving ample space for roads and gardens to stretch in between the cobblestone walls. Though you see a lot of gardens, large stretches of green fertile ground now covered in mostly bramble and moss, none of them seem like the gardens you'd expect. All of them are marked with slate grey stone statues and monoliths, tablets, and carved rock. Can everyone please give me an intelligence roll?
Intelligence.
And DC is 12.
Fail.
Natural 1.
Man, today is not your day with the dice, huh?
18.
At least it's funny.
30-20.
Yeah, Huxley, Evelyn, you immediately realize. Your confusion gives way to understanding, as the grey stones all bear inscriptions of a similar kind. Though they are all written in Drow, and you cannot immediately read them, they all appear to be gravestones. As you are now in the city, time will be managed by hours. You have in this first day 12 hours left until you require a long rest. At any point in the city, at any place you are, you can scavenge, costing you a few hours each, potentially yielding money, resources, etc. Searching specific locations, those that are marked on your map, may take you longer, depending on how long you spend at each of those locations. As you enter from the north, going by your map, the closest place
Ooh.
of the marked places would be right there,
Mhm,
the Necromorium. But you decide where to go, so where would you like to go now that you're in the city?
Well, I've never been here, so I can't really guide you.
Well, the explorer said that the Citadel is probably the safest place.
Right, but we are close to the Necromorium.
We are, yep. But also, I mean, I don't know how interested in that you are. Sound like there might be bone constructs and stuff.
Might as well check it off the list now that we're here anyway.
I think there's lots of undead everywhere.
I think probably the most useful thing would be the Institute or the Vault. That's just my opinion. Although I suppose the plant place might be good because no one else probably has been in there.
Also true. Well, it is.
I mean, the Necromorium, I don't know how useful a siege weapon's going to be to us. We, can't carry probably something that big.
So we're looking at Vault, Institute, and was it the Terrarium?
Yeah. I mean, I'm open to whatever, though. If I know anything from this book in Drow, the temple's probably some badness.
Fair enough. Well, we could maybe pass around, follow the road here towards the Institute.
Mm-hmm. Presumably the main road wouldn't have a lot of traps in it, but I guess I don't know.
We should be cautious, but we can also take that time to see if we spot anything worth refilling any of our supplies.
Right, true. I suppose the noble houses might be good for supplies. They should have like big wine cellars and stuff, right? If I was a noble, I wouldn't worry about taking food with me when I left.
I'm not sure how well food would still be good, but maybe we can find some sources of water or beverages.
Alcohol.
Abelin, what do you
Exactly.
think? How long has the space been abandoned?
Well, the dwarf we came across before said at least several hundred years. Looking around, Beggar, would that match up with, like, how, if I had to guess based upon the erosion of buildings, and would I be able to make a guesstimate?
Roll me an intelligence check, not safe.
Because
There's
if
only
it's
a
a couple
four,
of
so
hundred
it's just
years,
that-
then even a wine cellar wouldn't really help us.
It's only an 8.
Without more closely investigating, it would probably be really hard to tell. You have no idea how quickly these massive vines grow,
Mm-hmm.
but clearly they were not here when the city was built. You don't see buildings built around the vines, more so the vines breach the ground and the buildings around it, growing through the city. So it's certainly been a while.
Before we head in, can I look up the drow words for off, shut down,
Okay.
friend? Well, I don't think drow would have a word for friend.
There is one.
Obey, I guess. Yeah, it's like temporary ally, but yeah, that word.
Okay, so you
I think we're heading this way, along this road, right? Oh, sorry.
you're trying to go to the institute.
But keeping an eye out for traps, and also possibly looking for things that we can replenish some of our supplies, even if it's just wood for like our fireplace or for our fires and stuff.
Could you guys throw me perception rolls, please, for looking around? And then also perception rolls for general perception.
So first one, 15.
30, 20.
Mine are both 17s.
The
15 and 17.
second one is a natural 20 this time.
Okay.
Nice. There's a dirty 20 and a 15.
You begin to wander the city street. As you pass from the outer fringes of the city, deeper in between buildings that grow ever higher, the city grows darker in the shadows, more silent. Looking around, you see many buildings, most of them destroyed and crumbling. And as you're looking for wood and supplies of that nature, you realize that, at least on the outside, much of this wood is heavily decayed. The closeness to the bramble forest and these larger vines haven't in any way helped the preservation of any of the wood. If you were to find supplies, you'd probably have to go around looking in houses, searching for a while, and making sure that you search in areas that are more sheltered than the outside. As you pass through a particularly long street, approaching a large crossroad, you hear steps clattering. .
Should we try and move into one of the buildings out of sight?
Yeah, where do you go?
I'm hearing the clacking from which direction?
What did you roll? The 17? You'd roughly hear it from this direction, around the corners.
Probably in this house here. At least that's where Evelyn would head.
Okay. Outside of this house, you see some crumbling market stalls that would also give you cover. But you could, of course, also head further in. Do you hide in a way that you are completely gone, or do you sort of peek around the corner, keeping visions?
Is there any way to get inside the house from like a broken window or a doorway or something like that?
Yep.
I think I'd head into the house and see if I can glance out carefully deeper within the house.
Please give me a stealth roll.
Kara, Hugs, Red, could you please take care of Kara and Lorana? I'm gonna climb up that roof over there and check it out.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had the frogs.
Everyone also forgot that we have the frogs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Soleil didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Soleil likes the frogs. Do you want to climb this building to have a good vantage point?
Can you get there in one turn?
I don't know. I didn't know we were already in turns. Let's just. I was here. 10, 20, 30. Dash 10, 20. Yeah, I could get there.
Do you have a climbing speed?
Yeah, I have climbing speed of 20 feet.
Okay.
Is that like an
The house you're
open-
standing in front of is about 30 feet tall. Do you start climbing this turn, or do you wait?
Yeah, I mean, I can 10, 20, 25, and then dash. So I still have 35 movement. So guess I climb it up.
Do you have 35 left when you make it here?
No, this is 30 feet here to get up here.
Mhm.
Then I can just make it up there, I think.
Well, keep in mind that if with your climbing speed, that is, if you use your entire movement to climb.
Yeah.
So you expend a little bit on movement first, that means that gets subtracted from your climbing speed.
Yeah.
Is that like an open gateway?
Yes.
Large enough to fit a frog through?
Probably.
Oh,
About 10 feet
you know
wide.
what? I'm gonna use feline agility.
Mhm.
Double my movement from 60 to 120. So
Then you'll definitely make.
I'm gonna stay low.
Please give me a stealth roll with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Sadly, not a natural 20, but it's still an 18.
Walking along the roof, you realize that, of course, as much of the buildings are, the roof itself is relatively unstable. On some of the tiles, as you step on them, they begin sliding. Some of them sort of push in from the crumbling wood underneath, just sort of giving way. But still silently, you make your way to the edge of the roof. What do the other two do,
I mean,
now that you're left with the frogs?
I want to wait around and then message Soleil or Evelyn, I guess. Probably Soleil.
You wanna just wait?
I want to message Slay and be like, "Can I jump the frog up there?" So I want to jump the frog up there, but I don't know, if it's safe.
Well, you would know then. Jumping the frog up there will be anything from silent. And if you message Soleil, this roof would never hold the weight of one of these frogs.
No.
Okay. I think we should back off a little bit, like into one of these shadows or something.
Okay.
Where can we hide a frog around here? Yeah, I guess that's the only, I guess this is the only place. Yeah, I guess I'll try to ride the frog in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, come on with. Yeah.
Come on, Lorana.
You also get into this little courtyard area?
Yeah.
Soleil, you of course see it first. A large silhouette comes into view, followed by smaller figures. At the front, a knight in black armor and the pale skull shambles forward in an uneven gait. His armored boots drag across the cobblestone road, causing sparks to fly. Behind him wander similarly shambling a retinue of smaller knights and tumbling gusts of dust wrap in bone. Do you do anything?
For now, I just watch what they're doing.
The whole group seems to simply be shambling along the streets, and as they come to the crossroads, those of you watching the crossroad would see them as well. And as you wait, they turn and pass you by.
Better an extra minute before coming out of hiding. Making my way over to the others. Right, so undead skeleton sort of knights and soldiers. Good to know. It seems like they're on some sort of patrol.
Yeah. We'll probably just better be ready in case they catch us off guard.
Which intersection was this at on the big map right now? Okay.
Do we want to leave the frogs outside the city?
Might be easier to navigate around, but how long you think they'll stay around?
Well, I guess we could tie them up or something.
Oh no.
Or dig a hole and put them in a hole.
What?
What is this, Minecraft?
Like in Minecraft.
I mean, we could see if we could find someplace safe to keep them.
That's kind of why I suggest like the Citadel. If we could get there, drop them off, and then explore the other places and come back. I don't know.
Might not be a bad idea then. We can backtrack and head that way. Can you?
I gotta assume we're gonna be here at least a day.
Oh no, that's fair. Can you? Do you know where Soleil
Yeah,
is?
Soleil. Are we coming down?
Soleil's just keeping an eye out for more patrols passing by.
Seth is keeping an eye out for patrols.
Great. Well, that's nice, but if we're gonna backtrack, we should probably head out.
Ooh, like this.
For the next couple of minutes, as they discuss, you watch the stream, but find or see no further patrol. And
Maybe
you guys change your course,
Less
heading back a
direct
little bit.
routes. Like staying off the main road this time. Because it seemed like they were traveling on the larger road, right?
They
the
were
larger
cutting
intersection.
across here
Hmm.
because you were traveling on the main road.
Mm-hmm. So maybe sticking slightly off of the main road to come around towards the city.
You follow down the road that they went down,
Mm-mm.
or do you head
Backtracking.
back
Maybe
first
like
and
coming
then
like
down here?
down. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking still for traps.
Once we are like reunited, I would like to cast aid on everyone to give you all 10 additional hit points.
Nice.
We don't rush out. If I can have 10 minutes. Well, guesstimating based upon how long it's taken, Beggar, to get from like where we entered to where we ran into them, how long would I guess that it would take to the Citadel?
To here, it would have probably taken you about an hour. To the Citadel, likely another.
Okay, that's fine then. I'll hold off on that. How much from aid?
What was that?
How much from aid?
10.
10?
Already in the thicket of tall buildings, closer to the center of the city, you come face to face with a great wall. According to your map, it separates an inner part of the city from the rest. But from where you stand, as you walk along the gate, the wall, you see no gate leading in. Only the shadow of gigantic vines that are present also here in the city. You follow along the wall, through the alleyways, past the blocked areas, separated from you by the twisting vines. As you come to here, there is no way to safely make a pass unless you climb the vines. Do you do so?
So no jump possible.
You could attempt to jump, but even then it would be quite a distance.
Shall we climb or shall we go around?
I mean, can we see the larger vines behind these?
They are colossal, reaching very high.
I feel like we're gonna run into vines either way. So here's as good as anywhere else to cross them? I don't know.
Fair, just maybe do it as quietly as possible. Wait, at the additional height, it might be easier to spot us if there's patrols.
Sure.
How are the have the swamp legs climbed vines when we were in the swamp?
Smaller ones, yes. They've also cleared smaller ones, but they've never particularly taken a route that would lead them across these larger ones.
I know sometimes they're picky about what they're walking on.
As far as you're concerned, there also hasn't really been a need to. You were never really blocked off by a lot. Okay, so you cross the vines.
Yes.
Can I get a d20, please?
9. Oh, just then roll on the hit.
What kind of roll is it?
Any?
Oh, just roll a
That's
d20.
roll.
Okay. Natural 1.
Oh,
You shouldn't have let me roll it.
Climbing these vines proves a little bit more difficult than originally anticipated. Some of these vines aren't a single stalk of thick vine. Some of these are these almost knots, almost like braids of twisted smaller vines. And some of them are specked with thorns and spikes. You manage to cross safely, but doing so costs you about an hour of time. And you make it to the other side. Among the towers rising high from the inner walls of the city, one set of structures rises higher than the rest, a clear central point of defense. A citadel forms between two heightened towers.
Right, it looks like what we're looking for.
yeah. You see any gate?
Does it look like there's any ways to enter the citadel?
At the very front of the citadel lies a set of large gates.
Large gate in the front. Not sure if there's anything smaller.
How high are these towers?
They are, among all of the structures of the city, the highest.
Theoretically, are there places on the tower that I could hook my grappling hook onto?
Yes, the walls are not exactly smooth.
You could one at a time get you up higher if we didn't want to try and enter the main doors, but that wouldn't help with the swamp legs.
I mean, we might as well check the main doors. They might be unlocked for all we know.
True. And let's make sure to check for traps.
Yeah, of course.
We will glance around, make sure there's no undead, and approach the doors.
At the moment, you do not see any undead. In front of you lies a set of very massive wooden gates, reinforced around the edges with metal. Each of the two-sided doors has a large ring on which to pull or push the door open.
Are there like the doors within a door on these gates? Like, I don't know,
Not on the
describe it.
gates. However, you do see a smaller door on the side.
Well, let's look for traps on both of these little doors.
Yeah. Head over and start looking at the little door for traps. Before messing with it. Is it also made of like metal? And wood?
Small door is almost entirely metal.
Can the hinges be seen from this side?
No.
What about the main doors? Are the hinges, can they somewhat be seen from this side?
You could see the edges of them, yes. They seem to be placed sort of central on this door.
Can I look the small door over for any traps or obvious signs of, like...
Roll me an investigation roll.
Using my magnifying glass, carefully inspecting it all. B.A. 26.
You carefully go along the edges of the door, searching for any kind of wire or trigger that could loosen a trap, but you find none.
Would I also be able to tell that there's a, just from like looking over the door and the condition of it, that there's a large chance of, or if there is a large chance of this door creaking horribly loudly when opened? Since I can't see the hinges and won't be able to like try and
Well,
those.
Given the age of everything here, there is a large chance on any door here for it to creak.
Is there a lock on this door, or noticeably?
There is a large lock. It's sort of integrated into the door.
Right. So it could be loud. Should we try this door?
Yeah.
Okay. Just be ready in case it makes a loud noise. I'm going to inspect what I'm assuming is a locked door. Is the door locked? I will try and unlock the door.
Give me a sleight of hand.
Oh, that's a 30.
A what?
19. 30.
Jesus Christ.
I get, if I'm using
as soon as
any
you
of my tools, I get double
lockpick
positions.
enters the door, you feel along every sort of surface area of the inner lock, you can feel the rust. Carefully moving your tool slightly back and forth, you scrape some of it off, finding the bolts. And as you push them up, they almost arrest already by themselves, simply through the rust that has accumulated. And very quickly, the door unlocks.
I will carefully try to open the door as slowly as possible.
Give me a stealth roll.
16.
You slowly pull the door open, and you already hear this. It's quiet enough that you keep going, and eventually you have the door open enough that you could enter.
Wait. Can the frogs fit through this door?
They cannot.
Okay. I can go in and see if any traps on the inside of the big doors.
Yeah, maybe they unlock easy from the inside.
Yeah.
You wanna just, yeah, I guess call through and we can pull on them if they're unlocked.
Sure. I will very quietly head inside and make my way around to where I would assume would be the large doors that open up. Being careful and looking for traps as I'm walking through this.
As you enter the base of the tower, you enter a singular circular large room. In the middle of it, a large staircase winds up and into the next floor, going assumedly much, much higher. The staircase would be large enough to bring the frogs along, as well as the gate to your right.
I will head towards the gate. Is it like a locking gate, or?
It is a singular gate, and it does have a large bar on the inside.
So on the side that I'm on?
Mm-hmm.
I'll double check and make sure that there's no traps before going to move the bar and try and open it.
Bar is quite large, given about approximately that size.
Hmm.
As you go to remove it, pushing against it from beneath, you notice that much of the wood has sort of almost melded with the metal and the wood from the door. I would probably require a strength check for you to bring that open.
I'll try it once before going to go get Hux.
Okay, give me a strength check.
It's a 14.
It takes quite a bit of effort, but you make progress. Slowly, the bar begins to lift as it begins almost crumbling away from the door and the hinges that sort of slotted in. And eventually, you push the bar to the side, letting it very carefully drop to the ground.
And I can open the gate.
You push on the gate and very slowly, just like before, and not extremely quietly, you hear this as you push on through, and you see another large empty room. On the other side, you see a gate much like the one you had just opened. And to your right, you see the large gate leading outside, and another large gate leading further inside the city.
I will carefully move through the hallways, making sure I'm not stepping on any traps,
Mm-hmm.
and head over to the main gate, our main doors. Is there an obvious method of opening these doors?
There is a gigantic bar on the ground that you would estimate, be used to, once the gate is closed, lock it from inside. However, it doesn't appear to be locked at the moment.
assuming that everyone's on the other side, I'll double check it for traps on this side before telling him to open it, since I've
Mhm.
done this for every other door.
You look around the hinges, particularly, and the sides of the doors. But as the doors are already at the gates are already at this slight angle, it's very easy for you to tell that there are no traps.
Then I will try and knock quietly on the door. And say, go ahead and try and open. If anyone can hear me on the other side.
Can everyone else give me a perception roll?
$21.
Hey.
21.
I was gonna say Rhett always hears Evelyn in his head all the time.
Yeah, I mean both of you
But it's
hear
hatching.
just the knocking from the side, from the large gates you were considering opening. And then very muffled you hear a voice. So you don't quite understand what she's saying.
I mean, we told her to knock.
Yeah.
To tell, you know.
I'm gonna lead
Mhm.
Lorana over there.
Yeah. You want to tie one of them on and pull?
Sounds like a good idea. Is there something to tie on those gates?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like a
there
big
is a
ring.
large ring.
Okay.
I guess we'll tie a rope through the ring and then around the big main horn on their back.
Okay. Of one of them or both of them?
I mean,
Let's
I
try
guess might as
one
well
of
do-
them first.
Yeah.
Which one?
Lorana.
Okay.
She
You
can do it.
tie the rope. How much rope do you use?
I feel like 2 loops of a 50-footer.
Yeah.
So 50 foot?
Yeah, but like
And then
it's
double
25.
strength?
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You tell Lorana to go forward, and first you see her just walking until she meets the resistance, until the rope holds taut. Then you hear this deep, somber, just creak. But the gate itself doesn't move. And then Lorana crouches and hops. There's this sudden as the door goes open a little bit further, and Lorana just sort of hangs on this taut rope, continuously jumping in place.
Okay, you can stop now, Lorana. Good girl.
And Lorana stops.
She gets some extra scratches under her chin.
I suppose looks like we need to tie Kara to the door too to pull.
Or is it already enough to get through now?
For you, it is. For the frogs, not quite.
I'll glance out. What? Is it
We're working on
What
it.
up? Alright.
Seems kind of rusty hinges. I'll do the same thing, I guess, on the other door.
I mean, maybe Huxley, you could come in here and try and push while they're pulling.
Yeah.
I can try.
You could just turn into one of those huge things, right? Should be a piece of cake.
Yes.
That might not be necessary yet. If you don't want to. Or you could.
I can try it first, just by myself, and then if that doesn't work, I'll turn into an enormous snake. I guess I'll slip in and like start pushing.
Do you tie Kara to the other door still, Red?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Well, I guess the same door.
Huxley,
I'm
can
not
you give me
seeing
a strength check?
mechanism on the door that requires both to be opened, am I?
No.
Okay.
Seems relatively primitive.
Can I make an athletics check or just
Yes.
straight? Okay. Sure. That is a 27.
Nice.
That is quite
With
something.
Huxley pushing from inside and both of the frogs beginning to, sort of hop forward, the gate opens far enough for you all to get through. The rope drains under the pressure, but being double tied does not snap. And you recover both ropes.
Nice. Are there rings on the inside of the door?
Yes.
Do you think we could pull them shut?
I mean, yeah.
So if we're leaving Lorena and Skara here, they're safe?
Yeah. We could also just like pull it just shut enough that we could slip through. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, because from this side it's going to be harder to open again for them to get back out.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
True, I suppose.
Was that another gate over there?
Yeah, there's a gate that we'll be able to fit through at the end of the hole with a stairwell that goes up that they should be able to fit on as well. If you want, we could go look at that before doing anything else. By at least glancing into this pathway, does it look like a similar setup?
You see just the closed door on this side.
Or it's like a door, not a gate?
It's the same gate as the one you opened on here, but it is closed.
Follow.
Okay, so you ascend the stairway.
Looking for traps. I'm gonna try and skitter around them to make sure there's no like dangerous stairs that they need to avoid.
You start making your way up the stairway, and after a while, you notice that these stairs go up pretty far. Unfortunately, as Lorana and Kara follow into the staircase, they don't seem to want to go anywhere except forward, not being able to turn around. And eventually, you arrive, winded, an hour later, at the top of the towers.
Could we have at least shut the door behind us? That door.
At the gate?
Yeah. Not the gate. The
If
door.
you would have squeezed past the frog, yeah.
Yeah.
But
just,
then
like,
you
put the
also
bar
would
back
have
in
had to
front.
do it yourself.
I guess I could have relatively easily squeezed past the frogs.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you give me another strength check, though? Athletics.
Yes. $18.
Mm-hmm. Pulling the gate back in after you already pushed it the same the opposite direction open is a little bit easier. And you manage to pull the giant gate. Not completely shut, but as much closed as it was when you arrived. You arrive at the top of the citadel. Even though the wind here carries the same stuffy warmth as it did below, the breeze pulling through the citadel is a welcome reprieve.
Right. That's a very large stairwell.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm. Is it a door right here and a door right here? Or here?
All three of those places have doors.
Just going to check the first door for traps.
Roll me an investigation roll.
Uh-oh. I rolled horribly. That is a 10.
You do not see any traps.
We'll unlock it. If it's locked. If not, I will open the door.
Much like all the other doors, there is a slight creak. Not as much, though, as the doors below as you open the door into an largely empty room, safe for a body that is long decayed into a skeleton.
Looks like a dead skeleton or something in here. And another door. I could either go and mess with that door or the one behind us.
Are there like any signs on the walls? Like writing, I don't know.
Along the doors, you
Yeah.
see no writing.
I'll give a skeleton a wide berth and make my way to the other door. Which I will look over for any traps and then open.
Roll me an investigation.
That would be a natural one. Definitely not trapped. I will open this
Yeah,
door.
no, it's definitely not trapped. And the door opens. You see a couple of crates, the wood of which has decayed a lot. But more so than that, they definitely look deliberately smashed.
Outside of the fact that that's a little concerning, is the wood look more sturdy here and less decayed than, and maybe usable again from these for?
Give
like,
me an
firewood?
intelligence roll.
Mm-hmm. 15.
You look around the room and the roof in particular. It seems like the sturdy stone construction has definitely suffered less under the age of the town than most places have. And indeed, the stone and the wood look largely dry, free of moisture and of moss or other plants. And the wood looks like it could definitely be salvaged.
Glancing at the smashing, I don't know if I'd be able to tell this. Can I see if it looks like recently done or that it was done a while ago?
You mean intelligence? You could make it investigate.
That'll be 24.
The weathering on the outside of the wood is similar to the weathering that is close to the broken edges. Not quite. It definitely happened after these crates, a time after these crates were made. But it doesn't seem recent.
Okay. I'll file that away in my head and check the next door. My brain is telling me if I keep going, I'll loop back around to the others.
In the next room, you find more shattered furniture, more salvageable wood. In the corner lies a crate that has also been smashed.
Okay. I'll come back and look at things later on or tell people about them, but just next door. And moving along to this door. Which I'm assuming I can open up.
Mm-hmm.
And I open the door.
There's a sudden creak next to you guys as the door on the left side swings inwards. And Evelyn peers her head through.
Right, so the door loops around up here. There's a few crates and things. Look like they've been smashed open. I didn't really go through them or anything, but the wood looks like we might be able to salvage that. Finish some of our supplies.
Seems like a good place to camp out then.
Yes, relatively safe, seems like. Are the doors large enough for the frogs to fit through?
Yes, they are.
And
They'd probably have to squeeze a little, but they could fit through.
definitely enough space to hide the swamp legs.
Alright, I can start gathering supplies and whatnot. If you want to check out the rest. I assume it'll be the same on the other side, so.
Or probably I will work on that door while Red goes to look over things.
Mm-hmm.
I will check it for traps and then unlock if needed. Oh.
From up here, the city seems almost serene as you peer out the battlement of the large towers and see much of the city beneath. All the dangers you've encountered so far in the city and the unease of the abandoned city itself seems very distant, very detached from this fortress so high up in isolation.
Seems safe. I will continue to make sure it is.
The
Is
doors
this-
on the other side seem to all be closed. They are the same doors as you see opposite.
I will attempt to open one if I can.
You push or pull?
Pull.
You pull on the great door, and much less so than the doors further down, you hear this slight creak, and the doors open.
Glance out as well, assuming I'm looking now in towards the inner section of the city, but nothing immediately alarming.
How long do you look?
I'll wait like 30 seconds.
Give me a perception roll.
lot of buildings.
There is a lot of buildings, and you see sort of fog drifting through the streets. Every now and then, there seems to be a little bit of movement further down, further away, in somewhere in the city, but without a spyglass, it'll be impossible to see from the side.
There. Then I will progress down to the other door so I can make sure that it is safe for my companions and begin the process of moving around. Are these not smashed in?
As you walk by these large wardrobes, they do not seem smashed in. Same goes for the small closet in the corner.
Strange. But this one is. Huh. I will make my way back towards the others. I'm assuming, because I do not want to walk an hour down those stairs.
Mm-hmm.
See how Rhett's been doing.
What did I find? I've just been, gathering good wood, and I mean, if I see anything I think could be gear, sure.
Okay, so you spend some time scavenging the supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Scavenging the supplies would take you about 2 hours, taking everything apart. The wardrobes, all of the chests, everything seems to be empty. But you salvage the wood and you gain 6 supplies.
Nice.
I'll mention that I think it's odd that these wardrobes and that weren't smashed in, yet everything else was.
I mean, they seemed empty, so I don't know.
No, and just a bit strange, but probably no supplies. Or they were out of the way of some sort of fight. But yeah, it seems like good place to stay, camp, and set up a base of operations as they were intending to do.
So we have, about half the day left? Is that right?
You have at this time about 6 hours left. Considering you'll need about an hour to go down, you would have 5
Get them
hours.
back up.
I don't know about that. An hour to go. Listen, this is just an open.
I mean, true. You can find faster ways down.
I have Featherfall, I'm fine.
I have a broom. Eblin has wings. Yeet.
Fair enough.
And Hux has a huge
I-
HP pool. Just turns into something,
And
jumps
rage.
down. Yeah.
I mean, I
Hug-
can fly now,
Hugs can
so
come with me on the broom. It's fine.
no, I can turn into a bird.
Yeah, I was going to say. Before you enter any of these locations, which might be a larger thing, this might be a good place to end for the night.
Yeah,
I figure, yeah.
Yeah.
we got
Okay.
our base of operations going.
We can jump into the vault and
Fine.
make it back before nightfall, right? Yeah, easy.
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 You're not gonna run into anything that'll stop you, I'm sure.
I'm sure too.
Sure.
Also, like, it's totally normal that undead are smart enough to run patrols and stuff, right? It's totally fine.
Yeah, they're just reliving past.
Yeah, they're just continuing with their previous lives, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just going through the motions. Not smart.
Okay.
They're
Thank
definitely
you,
nervous.
guys.